Hi everybody, welcome back for another intuitive fantasy painting. I'm making this a tutorial for you guys. So what this means is that I have no idea what I'm going to paint yet. There's no pre-planning at all. This is just one way I really enjoy painting. Just spur of the moment, choosing a canvas, a few colors, and I'm going to see where they take me. So I always have the cameras rolling and bring you guys along with me for this fun artistic journey. So I hope you guys learn a lot. I know you will, and get inspired and get out of your comfort zones. Maybe motivate you to try some new colors that you haven't thought about before, or maybe you've been a little afraid to try. I'm going to show you how you can incorporate some really bright, luminous colors today. So stay tuned, hit subscribe, and let's get started. Okay everyone, I've got a 16 by 20 stretched and primed canvas. I also pre-painted it with gray, so I just used a little bit of black and white and painted over. It's now dry. I like to use a gray canvas a lot of the times because I really think that it's a nice tone for building up a landscape. It's gray tone, grayscale paintings are excellent. They make colors just pop. And but you can also paint on a black canvas or a white canvas, it doesn't matter. But just if you're curious as to why I've been using a lot of gray canvases, this is why. And you will see as I start applying the colors how they just pop off that gray canvas. Okay, I'm going to go over the colors now. I'll also have them listed below the video in the description box for you. Burnt sienna, Mars black, light olive green, bright aqua green turquoise, phthalo blue, lemon yellow or a cool yellow, and I've got neon orange or luminous orange and luminous neon pink and titanium white. With a number 30 filbert brush, I'm going to get it wet. I'm going to just start with, I'm going to go ahead and start with my blue, phthalo blue, and maybe I'll just kind of crisscross and swirl around. See, when you have a little bit of water on your brush, it really helps to extend the paint. Helps you not get so frustrated with your acrylics. Okay, let's take some turquoise now, and maybe a little bit of white. I love the way the colors look as they kind of just blend together. So I'm applying them over top of one another like this. It gets really pretty. I'm going to take a little bit of pink now. I haven't washed my brush off. Oh, I just love the natural blending of colors like this without washing the brush off. So a little bit of orange with that pink. Maybe this will be where my main source of light is coming from, in here, with this little bit of pink and white. I'm going to take just a little bit of water on my brush and I start pulling and sweeping down here just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to switch over to number 12 filbert brush now, and I'm not going to take my brush in and dip it in the water. I'm just going to go straight into the light pink and just get the ends of my brush loaded with the paint, and I'm going to start creating these little fluffy scoops. Well, little scoops like this to make it look like fluffy clouds. I love to paint clouds like this. You'll see them quite often. How it kind of makes it look like there's a break in the sky in the clouds and it's opening up. Sort of a nice way to create an uplifting feeling to your paintings. I would tell my little students, I would describe it as painting lots of smiles. This one little girl said, "Our skies are so happy. They're always smiling." And I thought that was really cute. And it really stuck with them. And I think what sticks with kids also helps simplify teaching adults, all ages. So just think of it as painting little smiles. That really helps to simplify it. I think what we end up doing is just overthinking things when we're learning to paint. If you just break it down into simple shapes and feel a little bit more loose and free when you paint, you'll find it a lot easier. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of orange now with my white. Makes this really pretty peach color. This specific shade of neon orange is really beautiful. See that orange sherbet kind of color? It's a very cool orange rather than a really warm one. So it looks nice with purple and blue. Take a little bit of yellow and bring that in with my peach. Pick up a little bit of pink in there too. Okay, now I'm going to come in below here and start adding some more scoops. Really load up the tip of my brush so I've got a little line of paint there to work with. If you want to have super straight lines, then switch over to a flat brush. Because the round end to this, you might fight a little curve. That's okay. This also helps to create a little bit of movement in the water. So it doesn't always have to be super straight to create a calmness in the water. I'm just going to take a little bit of turquoise now, add that to that peach, and then just going to come in, sort of weave in and out here. I don't want to take away too much from the beautiful vignette we have going around, and I'll just go into that white and maybe start right from here. So I just load the end of my brush with a bit of that tinted white, or just white. It's up to you what color you want it to be. Something light is going to show up much better over a darker area, and being very bright here from the sun and far away in the distance, that's why I'm just adding it with a light color. So just line it up, pull, and then sweep straight across. And then I like to have one start, I like tiers of waterfalls, so different levels, one falling into another. And it's also really good in my videos to repeat the process in the brush strokes. That's the best way to learn, is by doing something over and over, and you guys watching me over and over do it. I can explain it, but the best way to learn is by watching. Okay, so then we have nice and bright on the top. That's where you want to start and add the majority of your paint, and then it just thins out. And I'm just going to add a little bit more white here. Could have some soft sunrays like this. Okay, I'm going to come in with, excuse me, my log now. And I'm going to take a little bit of black and burnt sienna, well, quite a bit, I guess. And let's see, I think we'll have it coming from here. Be a little shaky. It'll help you create that nice shape. And I'll have it a little bit wider over on this side, so you'll get more of that kind of bark pattern and texture if you're a little shaky and you don't over mix your paint. And don't push too hard. always like to have a little bit of stuff hanging. See a lot of these fallen trees here on Vancouver Island along our hikes. The beautiful and very enchanted forests. There's something about the forest here. Okay, and I've got some leftover paint. Well, I've got a lot of leftover paint here, so maybe we'll just add some little fairy stones down here, little rocks. Okay, now for the next step, I'm going to add some moss on top of that, and I'm going to be using one of my small mop brushes. I've got a little angle mop brush here. You can use any small mop brush that you want or have. If you don't have one, don't worry. You can apply the moss with any other brush, small brush, like a filbert brush, a round one, even a fan one. It's how you apply it. It's the tapping technique, okay? But if you want more of a fluffy, soft-looking moss, I would recommend picking up some of these. And these are makeup brushes, actually. So I'm just going to start by taking my light olive green and a little bit of black. This will be my first base color. And I'll start partially above and a little bit over top of the fallen tree here. Because I'm picking up the black and the brown on here, I don't really need to add a lot of black, but you know, it's really nice to have those colors, have the paint blend into one another, because it does, the moss really does take on a little bit of a brown tinge to it sometimes, like this in some areas, and then when the light hits it, it's that, can be that really nice bright spring green, which we'll get to in just a minute. I'll need a clean brush for that. Let's see, I hope you guys are learning a lot already from this painting tutorial. With a soft, very light, soft pastel background, you can come in with something really dark and striking like this and make your paintings 3D. And it's a lot easier than you think. So just follow these steps that I've shown you. Okay, I'm gonna go up, 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 up. The tree roots here. Take a little bit and have it kind of little bits of moss and vines and things kind of just hanging. From the underside. You can kind of pull and sweep too. And I'm going to go ahead and apply some soft looking moss. We'll just add a layer over here. Again, it's going to dry darker. So some moss is really, really tight and kind of looks like a blanket over things, and then some of it is really fluffy like this. Don't try to make all of them the same amount of brightness. Make them all a little bit different. You can pick a few that are a little bit brighter, but then have some that are just a little bit darker so we don't lose the shadows. So I've got this big one here. It's a number 40 round mop brush, and I'm gonna add some foliage, maybe some ferns. I'm gonna take the black and the green, and I'll just start coming in from the side here. Right underneath and across the top. And I'll just gently pull and sweep. I'm gonna switch over to another one of my mop brushes. I've got an angle mop brush here, and I'm gonna take a little bit of yellow, white, a little bit of olive green, and I'm going to carefully tap some brighter areas. Just a little bit though. And then a little bit of light on some of these. Let's see how you can create that mossy texture. This is a bit too bright here, so I'm just gonna gently tap that away. Got a little bit more of the olive green here. So certain brushes, like these ones, and I have a link below for these too. Actually, I don't like make any money off of my Amazon links. I just like to share the supplies that I use that I think you guys will enjoy too. And from what I'm hearing, you guys are loving these brushes, so check them out. It's gonna make your painting a lot easier and you're really gonna enjoy it. Okay, I'm gonna come in and add a few viney things hanging here. And I've got an angel sitting on a fallen tree like this. I think that one, I could be wrong, I think that one has some ferns in it. But this just has a little bit of everything. I'm gonna add a few ferns here and there. Okay, I'm gonna switch over to another brush now. This is a number 10 flat brush, and I'm gonna take my yellow and white. I'm gonna add some more sun rays. So you wanna make sure you have enough water on your brush that you can, I need a little bit more. You'll just have to practice. It's hard for me to tell you exactly how much water I've got in here, but you just really wanna thin the paint out. And I'm gonna go right from here where it's the brightest, and I'm just gonna, and see, it's not working. That means I need more water. And so just line it up. There we go. line it up and pull. Okay, I'm gonna add a few ferns in here. I'll show you how to do that. And I'll take a little bit of both my turquoise green and my olive green. I've just got this little flat brush. You could also use a filbert brush or a round brush. So I just kind of tap and then make it smaller and kind of curve. So there's so many different ways and different types of ferns out in the forest. Some of them are a little bit more curvy and go into a little swirl kind of. But see, when you just have these simple brush strokes, you don't have to try too hard. Sort of just let the brush do the work for you. And then maybe we'll have one right here. We'll just go with this. Just have a few hanging right there. I think we need somebody sitting on this. I'm going to use my round brush. This is a number 2 round brush. And I'm just going to use the colors. I've got a lot of paint left here, so I'm going to use what I've got here. A little bit of burnt sienna, maybe some turquoise. I want it to be quite dark though, because the log is dark, so it's kind of like sort of a silhouette going on there. So I want to kind of make it a little similar. I think we'll have maybe a child right here. You know, Mother's Day is coming up, and I've done a few paintings Mother's Day inspired, and Mother's Day is really special for me because I have 2 sons and a daughter, but my middle son, I had him on a Mother's Day on May 10th. So we'll just have maybe a child sitting here, maybe a little girl, and maybe the mom. And if you want to add the figures in this painting, and you can add if you want to make it your children, maybe you just have a girl, then just paint the girl. But I think we have a little boy on this side. I have her arm going around her daughter. One arm going around her daughter, and then the other one will be going around her little boy. I think I'll take a little bit of this off. And then we'll have a little boy here. Maybe wearing a hat. So he's kind of turned this way, and he's looking up at his mom. And I'm just going to add a little bit of black here, and maybe some brown, burnt sienna. Make her head a little bit wider. I'm just going to round this out just slightly. Add a little bit of yellow burnt sienna and white. And I think I'll add a little bit of color to, this is transparent, this pink. So maybe I'll just go over the little girl's dress. And I'll add a little bit of orange to the boy's shirt. I've got a little bit of Dioxazine purple. Maybe I'll mix that with a bit of pink and add that to Mom. And I'm going to mix the purple with a little bit of turquoise. And just add that here on the little boy. And a little bit more orange. And this is going to dry much darker. Might look brown once it dries because it's over top of mostly black, but it'll just be enough color. Okay, so I'm going to call this painting done. This was such a joy to paint and get to share with you. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. I love hearing from you. Also subscribe to my channel. It's free and there's over 600 different tutorials for you. Have a wonderful day. Happy painting. Happy Mother's Day to all you wonderful mothers out there. And I'll see you all soon in my next video. Bye!